All right, guys, this is Matt Hammond, IPO Warriors. We're doing the IPO live stream here. I'm going to do a quick sound test. All right, looks like that's working. What else am I going to do here? I'm going to try to see if there are comments are not supported in private videos. Interesting. Okay, so comments are going to happen in the Discord. All right. Okay, so comments are disabled, I guess, in private mode. So we're going to chat in Discord. You guys can actually see my screen, which is not what's intended. How am I going to do this? All right, I'll put this up here. Going to be a little light on the chatting here. Loud and clear. All right, welcome to the show, folks. The master trade this IPO. I'm not the master. You guys are clearly better traders than I am. I am the research guy and administrator at this point. But I think we will have something interesting here. So we've got about 4 minutes until the price is supposed to start indicating. So the first thing I'm going to do is be prepared. Let me bring up the Webull desktop. This is where we're going to be watching this. We should be able to see I'll update later. We're hoping we can see the pre-debut indication price here. So what we are trading today is not something. Mobile Global Esports. Really hot company, guys. Really great financials, solid baseline income. Just kidding. This is another shitco. The company makes no money. So let's not kid ourselves and think that this is anything other than a live IPO trade. This is Mobile Global Esports, MGAM, set to debut today with 1.5 million shares in the offering. There's also another 2.3 million shares that are registered for sale by selling shareholders. That's a tongue twister. For sale by selling shareholders. Rumors are that those shareholders are not actually selling. We all know they can sell at any time. My guess is if we see a pre-debut pop here, then people will start selling. Early look just on my mobile phone here at the level 2 order shows there's not a lot of people selling, so that could be fun. They have no revenue. They bought out a company or some way kind of took over ownership of a company that handles esports in India, primarily with a chain of universities, something like over 800 universities that they are holding events with. They look like fun events. They had some videos. They have some stuff on their website showing the events they have. Okay, great. That's all fun. This is not a company that has any profit. They have negative across the board. They have spent some money in throwing these events, and they're basically raising money to start going out and promoting this, presumably. The underwriter is West Park Capital. We have not had any really memorable IPOs from them recently. The deals that they've been involved with recently do not fit the fresh IPO profile that I tend to trade and tend to focus on. They've done some secondary offerings, but nothing I'm too familiar with. So they don't have much of a reputation one way or another. This isn't Univest or Aegis or Network One or Bosted or Think Equity or Maxim. These guys are kind of taking this deal, and apparently they have a few other deals lined up behind this one, also Indian companies. So they probably want this one to do well. I mean, they all want their deals to do well, but they have a little bit of their reputation on the line, at least in terms of their shareholders. They don't really care that much about once it goes live. That's not their deal. So let's see here. We've got about 1 minute till we expect to see something. I guess I don't have a window on that has the. I got to figure something out here. Add a widget. Is it the IPO version? No. Is it the minimize? I don't have anything here. What the hell? Trading. Okay. Charts, MGAM. I gotta get some widgets up here. Give me a second. Probably should do which one has that looks like the buy side and balance at $4 on 28,000 shares. So we're going to watch that here first. I think then we'll switch over to another screen where I've got a few others that I know we're all watching. One thing that's really interesting today is that Maya is like actually trading at a premium, so or is actually up above the IPO price, which I don't think I definitely didn't expect that. It's a biotech. I think it's just catching the low float interest here. So that's cool. HKD we've been watching. That's been up to, I'm not going to pay too much attention to the buy side, sell side imbalance until we get a little bit further, maybe in a couple minutes. I want to look at what else is happening in the market here that give us some indication of how this might do. And also, would like to set up my trade because this looks like it's going to be interesting. So what I'm looking at here is Maya. Maya's went up to 524. I mean, for a low float biotech to be strong, there's a lot of tweeting going on about these low floats. I think HKD and VRAX, I think these both brought a lot of attention to low float IPO land. I'm trying to promote these less in terms of what I'm saying before the IPO, simply because I want to reserve this for the group. I mean, we can look at even just right here, 35,000 shares. I like that, a small debut premium. If there's a sell side imbalance when this goes live, I will try to undercut it on the debut. But I think that what's going to happen here, because we had a lot of very high allocation in Webull. So when I see that, I think, well, Webull traders tend to kind of sell out early and take their profits. Whereas, in the other platforms, people kind of want to wait a little bit maybe to take their profits, or if these really is like a tied up float, if they haven't made big allocations everywhere, then perhaps this does, maybe this does rip. But when we have heavy allocations on the on Webull platform, a lot of times we'll see things sell off first. But another good indication is on this buy side, sell side imbalance. If we have, this is a very low number here. If we see this get up to 100,000 with the sell side imbalance, then I'll try to undercut it. Otherwise, I kind of like this for a, for a debut trade at, coming in just at the, just at the, I'm not going to go that crazy with it. Well, let's see. So sell side imbalance on 43,000. Just 90 shares though. That's not a lot. And I do want to trade this one. I like this setup. What do I want to do? How about something modest over here? What opening transaction in pink? No information. Gray market. Oh wait. MGAM. There we go. Come on, guys. I gotta get my order lined up here. 1,200. All right, so if you do want to buy in on the debut, you need to set your debut limit order now. The limit price just over the this indication price of 410. If you want to try to undercut it, you go just underneath it. If you just want to get in on whatever the opening print is, if you go $5, $10, it doesn't matter. It's going to open it up at the opening print. But if you go in with a big volume, you could pull the price up. So not a great idea. You can really damage the whole trade for everybody, including yourself, if you do that. So 420, 480, $5. That's not going to do anything one way or another. But let's have some fun with this one. 1,500 a day, order. Okay, place the order. So as this bounces around, moving up like this with the buy side imbalance, I like this setup. I do still feel like we're going to, possibly have a sell off. So maybe leave yourself some room to average in if we get a spike. There is a cool strategy that I've learned that is to ladder into the trade. You don't have to just do one trade. So 430, this is looking kind of strong here. So you could put in an order, for some to make sure you get in at 431. If you think it'll sell off, but don't want to miss the opportunity to get in, you could go in for 431. Maybe put another order for 405, maybe another for 380. So you could ladder into the trade. I kind of like what this is looking like right now. I'm just going to make it simple. I'm going to just get in on the debut, take my chances here. Just feels like, the market wants to trade low float IPOs all of a sudden again. And I like that. That's good for us. I think if we see a halt, probably start, definitely we'll start taking profits out right away, but this could run through the day. This reminds me a little bit of like HOUR, which was the first IPO of the year, I believe, and that came from EF Hutton. And turns out that, rumors were later on that there were some chopsticks involved, that there was like a Chinese position in it. But it was a pretty similar play from what I saw. From what I saw was a lot of retail allocations. A lot of people were interested in it. We're kind of hungry for an IPO to begin with, and that. I'm gonna put another trade on, and it ran from like $4 or $5 all the way to $10 throughout the day. So these can be interesting when the market starts getting hot on them. So let me see what I'll do. I got 69 shares. So I'm gonna go add, say, 2. Okay, so I'm trading it in 2 accounts here, 435. This is not so different than what I expected. A slight debut premium. It's not a runaway stealth setup. This is not debuting unless they're just on the way up. This is not going to debut at 19, 22 or some crazy number. This is just going to debut at a premium, and this is interesting. Certainly less risk involved. I mean, we're not buying something that's at 24 that we all know is going to drop down to $1 or $2, and we're all looking at HKD and saying, well, okay, HKD is. I'm going to add a little bit more here. 200, 4 minus 40, 410. Okay. Ladder in a little bit. What? 4. Give myself a little bit of a cushion. I don't have to be in where everybody else. One of the things I liked about trying to undercut with even just a little bit of a position is to give yourself a slightly lower basis cost than everybody else. So if everybody bought in on the debut and you buy in on the debut, but also add, say, even just 4.5, 385, and it drops and triggers you. Well, if it can't quite crawl back all the way to the debut price where people start selling as it gets closer, you're in a little bit underneath. Yeah. Your numbers, Anon. Yeah, we're seeing similar. 450 looks about where they're going to 428, 450, somewhere in there, unless somebody steps in and starts spiking it. We do sometimes see that. We see that especially when they debut underneath the IPO price. It looks like the underwriter comes in and tries to save it. So I think they'll probably try to take this live at 450, and then it'll have a little pullback. It's not going to change my strategy, really. I'd like to just get in on this. I think that we may see a dip. Then the low float will kick in. Then it'll start running. And at that point, it's kind of like trade as you see fit. MGAM 450 on 680. Yeah, 435. Man, I like it. The lower we get a debut, the setup looks pretty good. Under 100,000 shares. We know it's super low float. They can take it live at any moment here. We'll get back into the other chats in a little bit. I'm going to pull up my other screen just to keep an eye on what else is moving. The market's not going to stop just because we're playing one IPO. HKD has dropped. MAIA below 5. Tide, VREX, blah, blah, blah. What else was I watching? BW. NA, VREX, Getty down to 20. That was quite a wild ride. Happy to see many of you nailed that. I do live vicariously through some of you better traders out there, and love seeing it when you guys nail a big trade and then, here we go. We're live. So executed at 450. We're going to jump over to another screen and watch a trade. MGAM. I expect this to kind of fall a little bit. Nope. All right. Moved up, 495. Wonderful. See a halt out the gate. Looks like it. It's got an algo run on it. That is interesting. We got a halt. All right. So opening halt. Now what do we do? Now things get interesting because I am not convinced that this was really a stealth play. That was a very nice open for us. Now the question becomes, where does it go from here? How many people bought in? How many halts do we get up? In my opinion, every halt is riskier and riskier. So first thing I want to do when I have a limit order or when I have a debut halt like this is make sure I don't have any open trades. We've got a few minutes here. We've usually got about 10 minutes. Sometimes we got 5 minutes, but usually on the first halt on an IPO debut, they're going to give us 10, 20, even 30 minutes here. So the first thing I want to do is make sure I don't have limit orders that I forgot, that I set up. In this case, I set up some ladder orders in case it dipped. It dipped, it looks like, to 440 and then reversed. And I don't want that getting triggered later in the day. So what am I going to do? I'm going to go cancel those orders. So give me a second. Cancellation in process. That was a small one. Now, next thing is I am going to ask the room to please call out the opening price. It's not a bad idea to start getting paid during this halt. In other words, we've got one halt. I used to live by what I call the 3 halt rule, and someone can tell me where the widget is that tells me I've got the order book. Okay. I love their browser version, but it doesn't have some of the pieces I really like. And this kind of doesn't walk into place the way I'd like it to. Okay, Noah, IPO orders, chart. It's not the chart. Okay. Someone tell me what to do here. I'm in GUI design. This is what I do for my work. I'm a web designer developer, and I believe that most of what they do is very nice. Don't need that anymore. Orders, don't need that anymore. Chart. But I do not believe that this is very nice. Very pretty layup. Each chart is a 5 minutes added to the halt. There's a spreadsheet to track it. It helps. That is very helpful information. Okay. Order book settings. Order book 1. Oh. Order book setting. Oh. Book. Market by order. It's nice, but level 2 is what I'm used to looking at. And I mentally try to eyeball these, but let's see, at least 30 of these out there. 5. So could open at 5. Would be nice. All right, so I have one account where I just trade very safely. What? I don't understand. That didn't put me in. Loss, average price, 3, blah, blah, blah. Open orders, none. Okay, so I'm going to sell out of one of my positions just because that's the rule I live by. I just sell it when I get the set to close. This is my super safe or generally safe for trading IPO debuts account. And I just take the first halt on these and say, cool, thanks for my whatever it is, 50 cents. All right. Okay. Anybody seeing the open price? 450 open? That's not all that sexy. If it's 450, I'll wait. I think we get upside here in a minute. I would like to fix this though, because this is annoying me. Set this group. Like, where's the chart itself? Chart. I'm gonna watch it here. 1 minute. Where's the chart? 550. Really? It's gonna open at $4 with. No, I'm gonna say sell at 495. And otherwise, I'm gonna watch this for a bit. Another thing I like to do is go see if anybody's talking about it on Twitter. So we are going to go to MGAM. Halted liquidity news, just a bunch of bots. Yeah. Not a lot. Nobody really paying attention to this. Interesting. I think that MGAM. I would expect people to start talking about it, and they see it. Fresh IPO halted to get their halt alerts. After 10 minutes, as soon as the indication hits that level, it starts trading. Okay. Well, to me, this looks like there's a lot of buyers and not a lot of sellers. So I'm guessing this opens higher and maybe even goes into a second halt, which would be really cool. In the meantime, we're watching Maya, Tide, Getty, VRAX, NA. I still think NA gets its day, but maybe people don't want to trade it because it's facing possible delisting like the day after it debuted, which is pretty embarrassing for them. Still would really like to figure out where the widget is that tells me anybody know which yeah, 551 is nice. I would take Noe, right? KSCP. I gave you guys that one in the Monday newsletter. That was the LPX play. I'm in that one. No, that doesn't give me anything. KSCP. I want to watch that one because I'm in it. Maya still running. Maya running is good. Maya running is try at order book level 1 widget. Okay. Order book. Add widget. Level 2. Order book. Level 1. Then it gives me like this. And I just see 10 and 3. That doesn't help me much. Robot waiters. Yeah. Oh, that was you showed me that before. Waiter. There's a microchip in my soup. There's a bug in my waiter. Okay. I don't know what to do with that. That gives me order book level 1 is not helpful. I do not see it in the mobile app either. I'm going to get out of my I'm going to get out of my easy position, easy money, right on the halt. I'll let the rest, my bigger order in E-Trade, subject that to a little more risk. This looks just very interesting to me. Rumors of sellers being thin seem to be coming true. 10,000 there, 6,000. We got looks like more buyers than sellers, and if they can hold that for a little bit, then my level 1 trade fork. What platform are you on? Are you on Windows, PC, or Apple? I'm on PC. Maybe I just need to update. did give me that option, which I passed on. But remember, folks, this is a $4 IPO, debuted at $4.50, and at some point, people who got in at $4 are going to be happy to take profits. Windows, yeah, I'm on Windows 7 too. Or no, I'm on Windows 10, but I don't think that should matter. Okay, so I got out at 565. It opened at 565, dropped a bit. People are going to sell off. Got a big sell order there at 6. So the question is, can the low float beat that 6? What are we going to get here? I'm going to let things ride a little bit. I don't see this just getting dumped yet. I believe that the insiders that are pushing this want this to go very well for them. I also want to kind of like, there's nothing wrong with taking some of it off the table here. We're not seeing just an explosive move to the top side. We are at a pretty nice profit area, for where we started. So I think selling part of it at like 5. We get another push upside. Okay, the sellers are gone. This runs again, I think. So I'm going to take like, but now the buyers are gone. No, buyers coming back in. They're fighting back and forth here. We get a halt there. We got somebody protecting the downside at 5. All right, guys, I'm showing you what I'm seeing, but thinking out loud here, that 20,000, if a short decides, hey, I'll put more than 20 in, they can break right through that 20K bid at 5. 12K shares average is going to be a hurdle. Yeah, think about beating that. This is where I wish I had the stock on quote for. One thing is you can protect your position. You're in a win right now. Not a bad thing to not take a loss. You could set a stop loss at 495, for example, and keep yourself from getting, get burned. It's still a win. So don't go turning an upside position to the downside. You've got a wall right there, 21,000 shares, kind of like that'll at least hold it off for a second there. Otherwise, we're seeing one buffer bid there. Sellers, if they're there, aren't showing it. Doesn't mean that someone can't just come in and start shorting this thing if they don't feel like the buy side is going to hold it up. Still think that this has room to run. This is low float. We've had 780,000 shares out of what is presumed to be 1.5 million share float. However, we know that there are insiders with 2.3 million shares registered to sell, and they just have to break ranks, and all of a sudden this gets destroyed. We're still in the very early minutes of trading this, although we started at 10:21. And it's now 10:34. We really have only been trading this for about 5-6 minutes here in terms of active trading because we had a 10-minute halt there. So can the low float kick in? That is the question we are wondering right now. Will buyers and diamond hand this, and will shorts give this a break? We have seen these just get attacked once and these are shortable just because there aren't shares available. Market makers are able to pretty much just make shares. That's what you get to do as a market maker, as I understand it. Ooh, VRAX popped. VRAX still very, very pretty big. They got an algo jumping that one right now. Let's check in on HKD. HKD. He at 181, still hanging out there. They haven't pulled the rug on that one yet. I do not want to be near that one. That's just too scary. All right, 505, 510. Haven't seen much of a secondary move one way or another here. Break of 24. Well, sure. With these, I just, I don't know how you trade fundamentals on these. HKD must have just been knocking down fib lines like crazy. Okay, there we go. MGAM sold me out, and there's probably some slippage there. No? What happened there? Stop on quote. 495. Now it's getting shorted out. Well, it didn't sell. Stop on quote. 495. Blah, blah, blah. That was weird. GAM sell. Why not? E-Trade just completely, I guess it just halted before E-Trade could fill my order. Whack. So I had to stop at 495. The way that it sold down through that halt, someone just came in and dumped, and I haven't seen that happen before. I have seen a lot of slippage before, but haven't seen that where it just completely broke through my limit order. That's not cool. So now we're looking at people starting to exit. We have a halt to the downside. Can this recover? Yeah, but we might be looking at something not too pretty. Partial fill as well. 422, and I'm stuck with the third. So that's what makes these dangerous. You take that. So in my safe account, you can see, or I can see that selling that open halt worked out well. So I got some trades here. It's incredibly hot in my room, and I get a little sweaty when I trade. So let's watch this for a bit. This is, I don't like this. You're still holding your pre-IPO. I got it the opening print. Yeah, I mean, if you were sitting on a large allocation of pre-IPO shares, it was probably a good idea to take profits off that halt. Trading the rest, in retrospect, probably should have taken some out of that first halt. Got a little bit risky here. Still feel like this can go later in the day. This is a low float IPO. Maya doing what it's done. I don't like to sell for losses on day one. $400 the way these have been trading. I'm going to let it ride. Yeah, I don't mind letting this one ride a bit. At some point, they're going to start talking about this on Twitter. They're going to start. I think some people wanted to get there. Yeah, some people don't understand what's going on here. MGA, stock expert, MGAM, amazing IPO, can't even hold $5, and HKD runs to 250 plus. Sometimes it makes no sense at all. Well, I mean, it doesn't make sense unless you understand that what's really happening is a bunch of money laundering behind the scenes. And let's ramp up his conform to the road. IPO Dave, who I absolutely love following, is one of the smartest IPO traders around. He's in this at 450 for a long-term hold. Halted to the downside, trading blah, 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 blah. IPO open, but trading like crap so far. Amazing how one IPO like HKD and others can just drop. Same guy. There's a price of share, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, so we saw a halt up. We've seen a halt down. Now we're looking at an open probably at $5. So another thing I'm going to need to do is cancel my stop loss. So if you put in an order, if you had a stop, it didn't get triggered, remember that is still open. And this looks like it's going to open up 15,000 shares, 5,000, nothing else over here. HKD is a real company. That guy was an idiot who knows nothing about companies. Yeah, I know. VRAX is not a real company and is going to, opened up out of the halt, hit 2344, halted down to 1476. That's getting sold down. They can pull the plug on these at any moment. HKD really now feel like I should have given it more room to run. Absolutely no way I hold it to 250. I'm sure I would have sold it at around 70. But I said to myself, why are they bringing 16 million to share? Who's going to do a stealth IPO with 16 million shares in the float? Oh, well, a digital bank would probably know how to, that's also underwriting other deals. If anyone could manipulate the float to perfection, it seems like it would be them. And here we are looking at 250. Jeez. 34 billion. No, it's a Chinese bank. Chinese banks are about to go bankrupt. I'm going to pull everything out of MGAM opened at 482 and dropping. So people are selling out right now. I'm not going to panic yet. I'm just not going to panic on it. We're still up at 450. So is everybody else who bought the debut. So it could go down a little further even. Don't think we've seen the float just past 1 million here. I expected there to be a sell-off at some point because people want to take profits. I took profits out of one account when it was, out of this first halt. I think we see this turn around at some point. It's dangerous, I would think, but who knows what shorts are thinking. You think that they either just got destroyed by HKD and are out of business, or at least pretty tentative to be shorting something that has social appeal right now. Take your profit. It's not Goldman Sachs, if anybody is still in profit in HKD, just remember, the longer you sit in that thing, the longer you're going to be looking at what will almost certainly be a stock that's about $5 in a couple weeks. Whenever the rug pull comes, it's going to be an epic rug pull. Give you an example of what I'm talking about. TIRX. TIRX. This one was crazy. TIRX opened at 16, halted for 3 hours, opened at 50. I had 1,000 shares on the debut, sold them on the halt. It's the best trade I've ever made on an IPO debut. But it came down all the way to 11.55 before ramping up to 103. Came back down a bit, came back up a bit, came back close to 100, and then boom, from 97 in the morning to as low as 12.15 in one day. I mean, that's brutal. So that is what is probably in store for HKD at some point. And the way that things are shaping up in China right now, both with the crackdown on banks, the political situation there, the possibility of a war. I mean, this thing is definitely poised to be a massive loser in the long run. So MGAM not getting much love and seeing some sell side resistance. Shows why that one halt up is often, on a safe play, you take that one halt. Get out in the halt. Probably should have taken some out there. Kind of broke my rules there, getting a little greedy. I think everybody who didn't sell has visions of HKD in their mind. This is not HKD. But when we see what Maya did, let's go back and look. Maya kind of sold off initially. Found some support here. You could average in if you're in at 450, if you want to add to your position here. Thinking this maybe bounces off 4. People don't want to take a loss right away. A lot of people are letting it ride. It came back, hit up above the debut price. Met some resistance there until day 2. Day 2 rallied. Day 2 rallies are pretty common, so even holding this into a day 2 run, not a terrible idea. We haven't seen volume hit 1.2 million. I don't love it once they hit the free float, but there is a much bigger float out there. We believe that there's 2.3 million shares registered that can be sold off. So we're watching this. I'm gonna stay and talk for a while here. What else is running? Move this over here. So I managed to keep all my screens going. So move the chat over here. I'm gonna look at my other charts, see what's else going up. SPY hit 410. One of the chart readers amongst us was saying 410 and then consolidation. We'll see if we get that. Some of the other stocks I watch have gone green, red to green, sorry. Growth kind of hanging out there. VRAX open and still tanking. I mean, I like to think that these aren't dead until they are in the kind of $4 zone on the first day down. They do tend to kind of pull these, whether they're stop loss hunting or what. I mean, that's still 335,000 shares being dumped there out of a float of what is stated here is 6.15 million shares. That float originally was 1.35 million shares, so that's ballooned a little bit. Presumably some shareholders still want to milk this, but we've kind of seen it hit this 23 level a few times, 23, 24, one little spike up above that, but right around here seems to be where they agreed that that's where they're, where they're allowed to sell out and to stop selling at around 15. Really dangerous to try to trade these these ranges here though, because it goes to 15 on the way down to 4. So buying at 15, yeah, it's better than buying it. Oh, no way I buy in at 20. Halted again. But trying to play a range here, thinking there's anything sane going on in this stock is crazy. There's no reason to take that risk. MGAM continuing to taunt us. I don't like this chart at the moment. I don't like this big sell order. Volume dying out. That's not good either. This is starting to look like something we might just have to kind of put on the shelf and wait. But we also have seen these kind of run at any time. So I was showing the Maya charts there. VRAX open, VRAX halted. VRAX has just been all halts all over the place today. Applications. Who's talking about? Okay. ASNS creeping up. That's another one. Someone mentioned KSCP. I want to check that. Gonna pull off a Maya. Go short that one if you feel like it. I don't see that blowing up anymore. People lose interest in that. Okay, KSCP moving up a little bit. I got in here at around 265, 260, up to 3. This is a little bit like XPON to me, where XPON's just been kind of creeping up. I think where are we at the LPX on this one? April 1st. So we're, a few weeks into the 90-day LPX. It's come up from the kind of base here. So going into the 90-day LPX, I kind of like taking positions in some of these. It's got a little bit of, buzziness to the company itself. It's like batteries for boats and RVs, lithium-ion batteries. So, get in when it's down. Ride it into the LPX. At some point, though, I might just lose my patience and say, okay, whatever. I'm up 20% or whatever, 25%. That's a solid win. Take it out, move into the next trade. MGAM, probably should have stuck with my original thesis of, if I get one halt to the upside, sell it. Got a little carried away. I think we'll be all right here at any moment. If they do want to manipulate this, they can decide that pumping it is it's time to pump it. Gonna see what is being said over here. Trade with me. Yeah, I think you have some people kind of taking a chance on it. Trade with me says take a chance. JP Trader. I think at this point, if we see any kind of spike, it's time to take out. But VWAP is still $5. If it approaches VWAP, take profits there. Downtrend broken, sideways channel broken. What are we looking at here? Can you tell me what this is, or include the tickers on your screenshots? Okay, NASDAQ. Okay, well, that's good. Certainly, we've seen that since the market sort of appears to possibly have bottomed out, we have had more sustained runs in these pops and spikes that we've seen. Certainly, my experience in trading IPOs is that, first of all, we don't get any mainstream IPOs when the market's down. Secondly, the rips and runs, both in IPOs and kind of the stock of the day runs, tend to be more sustained and even multi-day runs when the market is healthier. We've seen that, I think, more recently where these trades, VRAX, let's go back to VRAX, where we see things, VRAX coming back. So that 18 is one entry point, and 16 is another, 1764, and back up into another halt. Sure, why not? Halt around, crazy. HKD still moving up. Who the hell is buying this at 220? Yeah, VRAX didn't stay unhalted right now. It's in halt city. Let's bring some upside halts to MGAM. One of these pumping rooms, after they accumulate their position, they'll come in and send it. So it's kind of nice. We haven't seen too far of a move to the downside yet. Of course, as soon as I say that, I don't want to jinx it. It's going to have a hard time getting through 450. This is why I kind of was hoping I'd get a little fill down there. So I'd be at like 430 or something where I'd be able to sit in a little bit of a green position. But alas, that's not the situation I find myself in. So the max win here would have been 450 to 580. Realistically, 565. Take your dollar per share. That's not a bad trade. I think I had 300 shares in the other account where some of it was so $300 on a share and a gift of 69 shares. That was a little bit contrived. I wonder if they pulled a little bit of a Elon Musk humor move there and said, give him all 69 shares. It'll be funny. Okay. I do like on days like this to check out the, things are solid. I'll go back and kind of have my LPX list and look at some of the recent IPOs. OST back down to 159. VDO down. So I'm kind of looking at the bottom of my watch list here and sort of scrounging for recent low float IPOs. Not really the China ones. Those are two. I don't know if $1.70 or sorry, I should bring up. I like that one. Don't need to watch this. Let's see. MGAM. Everyone's watching that one. I like to take a look at some of these. I like to see what's down at the bottom. Top is another stealth IPO that hasn't completely fallen out. Don't know if they're gonna try to run that. Too risky for me to touch. EJH is way down. They tried pumping that with 2 headlines in the last week and nothing. PEV, that one we've seen some volatility out of, but I think we're going to see more downside. I really like this one as an LPX play. They ripped it hard off of the underwriter over allotment, or the closing of the IPO. Some of the others, SOPA already ran too many times. BJDX, this one, when it comes down to about $1.05, still hasn't hit a real headline yet. So I kind of like that one I keep buying it at 105 and selling it at like 130, 125, 130. It's just an easy 20% move. I know it's in other trading groups who trade these setups. They like that play. USCA, no thank you. SRVE, still too high. I just don't like that company. HTCR, I really think HTCR has a big move in it coming up. On the LPX, which I believe is, to be honest, I'm a little bit stuck in that one. But I did average down in here. This one opened at 5 on February 10th. So August 10th is where I'll kind of expect this one to get some kind of, the CEO owns something like 66% of the shares. They have a board approved buyback on the books. So if they decide to rip that one to get the CEO out, and presumably some of the other shareholders, that one could run. It just hasn't, if you can pick it up at 260 or 270, that might be an interesting one. Others, Genius Group, that's on watch for watch that for Genius. This was a stealth IPO, opened at 15, ran to 36 from April 12th. So they're coming into they're already past the 90-day, but watch that one at the 180-day. But I let that one drop quite a bit before I try to touch it. CD's already ran a bunch of times. TNON, have taken this one for a few rides. It's been spiking recently. Was picking it up under 2, and then when it made this run, I dropped some, came back down, picked some up, sold it again. It's back down to 209. If this one drops below 2 again, they still haven't dropped PR on it. And this one is this one's right at the 90-day. So we might be a little bit early. That might be all the spike we get for the 90-day. They got a few people out. That's it. But I definitely want to watch TNON for the 180-day. This one, they tied up something here. They took, I think this was a $10 IPO that opened at 22 or something, ran up to 59, 3-day rug pull. Now it was down to 5, 6, and 5. So some of the others, if we go up the list here, CPOP, Path, Neuro, X4, blah, 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 SKYT, that was a nice one when it was down. Mito, already 10 too far. All these growth names just been destroyed. Roblox, I got that one from the IPO at 64, 68. Got out at 100 and 120. And God, that one gives me nightmares to think of if I had held it. Hoodie is one of those stealth IPOs that never died. Probably the only one. But Top kind of like reminds me of that one. Miro, I like what they're doing, but it's already popped a little bit. I missed it. So SPY coming down off that double top there at 410, 411. Maybe we'll see that consolidation that was called out. So those are the ones that are in the red today. If I were accumulating positions, that's what I'd be looking at. So showing you a little bit about what I look for in those LPX opportunities, how I'm watching those. Let's get this out of the way. Come on. So yeah. It's a little bit interesting that, and I guess that's how, I'm sure there's a technical answer on how stop losses work. Get this out. But a stop loss not filling at 495 on the way to 480, I guess they turn into a limit order when the buy and it cleared out all the sell orders, and then that's when it happened. But someone who knows more about technically how things work can explain it to the group. So let's see if anybody's still with me here. StreamYard is saying 6 of you. Okay, so I will stay on while there's a few here, and otherwise probably shut this down pretty soon because volume has completely dried up in MGAM. And we can return to the, okay, we've got a couple of you guys chatting here. So if you see this baseline, unfortunately, that's often not a great sign. We do often see this baseline turn into a dropout. I feel like, okay, I got to take a phone call real quick. 1 second. I'm going to maybe mute my mic. All right, that was just my daughter's school. We have parent conferences for 2-year-olds, but there we go. All right, stop limit order. Yeah, I'm doing something wrong there. Stop becomes a market order. So supposed to just hit a bid, assuming there's no bids above 481 for that down halt. I see. Stop limit order. We do a market sweep, and your broker is only showing say 100 shares. Do not get hit. Yeah, well, something like that. Now we're seeing a little bit of weakness here. Could fall out. I do like that there's not a ton of sellers out here. Got some buyers protecting the downside. Go back and watch this video for myself for how. Oh, no. Yeah, I don't think it's for her. It's a whole conference. I think that all the parents are going to be there, and they're doing it in Portuguese, so I'm not even sure why I have to be there. But maybe I'll pick up a little bit with the Spanish little Spanish that I know. NA is getting sold off, tiny volumes, so maybe an opportunity to add if you believe that it's coming back. Stock market. I don't think I even have that many options there. Might have been smarter to put my stop above the. This case was one of the few that you couldn't get out. Yeah, it happens. I've had bad slippage on these as well. Best pies. Come on, guys. My wife makes great pies. VRAX and a dumping, but not selling off, just taking a break. MGAM, my fear here is short sellers start getting, we see this. That I don't like it when I see those big orders show up there on the sell side rate pinned to the ask. People are starting to look for the exits early on this one. Unfortunately, that there is a photo put on 15K. Okay. Bid. All right. Yeah. Downside for 50x. It sucks when you think you've protected a win at 495, and then the stop doesn't get triggered. Certainly a lesson. We saw kind of that $5 level. Thought we got a little bit of safety there, but good reminder: take some profits out of the halt. I took some out of my other position, but didn't do that here. Not a huge position, but not a position I really want to take a big loss on. Not so bad at the moment, but remember, there are a few of us in here at 450. A lot of people who decided IPOs are tradable today. We're all going to be in this boat. So didn't average down because I don't want to get more spread out than I am. And let's see if anybody's talking about it. Not a lot of chatter. All that hype before, I think, was from the inside. People trying to get some retail interest, trying to feed off of HKD. So wasn't a stealth setup, just a market kind of copycat move. We do see this. We see some IPOs, hit stealth, and then we see some that just are really just copycats. Sometimes there's enough to move that, sometimes there's not. But in this case, not enough. Enough to give us one halt. That was the opportunity there. But day ain't over yet. And day two could have some surprises in there for us. We have hit 1.39 million shares. It's not a lot. It's not like, we see IPOs hit the float within, a few minutes of trading sometimes when they really get crazy. So if we're lucky, people have been accumulating here and then come in and start pumping it, but not tremendously down on this trade yet. People got over allocated on their indications of interest. Allocations told you how the stock would trade. Well, it did, but then we didn't see that immediate sell-off when we had even a premium there. So we often see over allocations get sold off below the IPO price, which if we had seen that, I wouldn't have gotten in this at all. But yeah, we do have people who are still green on their allocations, who are maybe feeling a little regretful that they didn't take profits there and are still happy to trade out of it. Who knows, maybe once we turn that corner on the volume, we have to assume that some of this is day traders, so it's not like 1.4 million shares, just people with IPOs. But not the most fun. I was hoping we'd get maybe a little more. I guess another point that I really should have taken to heart was once we don't get that second follow-on halt, we've often seen this kind of halt up, tabletop, and then move down. So that was probably the time to get open. But a bit of a over allocated, no reason to buy more. Yeah. A bit of a fractional allocations. That is true. Good point. 69 shares isn't huge, but yeah, people who, it's interesting though that I, asked for 75 and they didn't give me 75. So that's sort of okay. Not sure. Clearly they had the shares to go over. It looks like they had the shares to go around, but didn't spread them out completely. But yeah, people who got thousands of shares, definitely if you on Webull, that's not very common. That was a gift. If you put in for 1,000 shares and got 1,000 shares, when you had the opportunity to sell at 5, you're taking that. This wasn't going to go. Now we could say it wasn't going to go parabolic, but what we saw with Hour was not like halt. It was actually a little dip down and then a steady increase throughout the day. So still early, but volume falling off. Seems like some accumulation. So when I see this here, I see this kind of like 2 levels of accumulation here with buyers kind of trying to leapfrog the kind of the baseline here. That to me looks like traders kind of accumulating and hoping for a pump on day 2. So just On the other hand, this reminds me of how I got stuck in HTCR, thinking that they were going to run it harder than they ultimately did. Let's look at that. Daily, I think it was day 2, did give a bit of a jump, and that's where you really want to take your profits if you're stuck in this. So yeah, opened at 5, went up to 550, dropped down to 447, closed with a little bit of a catchback up to the 5, but not quite. And then day 2 gave us the run to 620, and that was really the time to get out. So you're stuck in these, and then look what it did, sold off. So after day 2 or 3, once they close the IPO, you don't want to be in this anymore. It becomes pretty unpleasant. You can see how thinly these trade. Getting out of these kind of sucks. But this is still alive. 430. Getty. HKD, no chill. Getty back up to VWAP. Went down to 18. Man, I don't know how to trade those stocks. Buying in at 10 for a fingers crossed run and getting the hit. That seems to be the way to trade those. It can be fun. Did not get in this one. I did like it. Just where was the Buck and Tweaky says 4 days. So yeah, that's about where you probably wanted to play that low volume day, drop down to 8. That's about where I might have felt like it was comfortable to sit in it for a few days. But I don't think I hold it past last night if I'd been in, take my profits at 15. That's been a nice way to make money. And hold it all the way to 30? Where was it this morning? 35? That's crazy. 34.98 at about 8 o'clock at the turn of 7 o'clock. That's a very nice win if you guys played it with any kind of size and conviction. Yeah, I'm hearing the same thing, that the allocations were thin with the direct brokerage, which makes me believe, although that's not super thin, that's what makes me believe that maybe this gets turned around, or maybe like why we got that initial spike. I also believe that a lot of Webull traders don't know how to sell right on the debut. So that first halt out, then them selling out makes a bit of sense. And should have reminded myself of that. I kind of said that to myself before. I was in trade for 1 cent a share. Work with dark pool in between the market. It doesn't pay to trade, says the market maker here. Yeah. Here comes the fallout. I'm afraid someone's going to sell through this and collapse this. And that's not going to be cool. Am I going to do anything about it? No. I'm going to wait. Wait for day 2. All right, guys. I need to start getting ready for this parent-teacher conference. If you guys took profits in this, congratulations. If you got out up around here, you did a great job. You took your money early. You remembered that it's Friday, and that was another thing I should have reminded myself. It's Friday. I don't want to be stuck in a bag over the weekend. Take profits. Tried to. $4.95. Got slipped. We'll take that forward. I think there's a couple lessons there. One was not to sit under the big order that's protecting the downside. Maybe get out above that, especially when I'm up already. And otherwise, who knows? This still can come back. We need a pie report on Monday. Yeah. Okay. I don't think anyone's bringing pies to this meeting. This isn't small town America. This is, we'll see, maybe some cookies, pie or tapas or something. Be happy with that. All right, guys. Hope you had fun here. Hope you learned something. Hope you made some money. I made some money in my daughter's account. That was cool. $300 or so. And hopefully this trade turns around for us. Anyway, good luck, folks. The newsletter for the recap will come out probably tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, or maybe during the weekend. I don't know. We'll see. And the preview will probably come out on Monday night. Try to get it out Monday night. We'll do a live stream preview as well. Not a lot of IPOs on the calendar, it looks like, except for rollbacks. I've got MGEL, which is on allocation. And ONFO, the perpetual rescheduled IPO, is still kind of being pushed back for every Friday. But MGEL, that's a Network One Solutions play. If you stuck with me on this broadcast until now, you're about to get maybe your money's worth. MGEL, Network One Solutions, definitely looks like a stealth setup. It's on allocation request on Webull right now. This is one of those trades or one of these allocations where we don't usually get very much. But whatever you can get is probably going to be a good one. This is definitely looks like Network One hasn't brought a non-stealth to market yet for a while, so I'm expecting this one to be a stealth simply because it's Network One Financial. It's a Hong Kong company, and until they break that trend, I'm going to stick with believing that the next one and the next one and the next one fit the profile. And good luck, everybody. Have a good weekend. I'll be in general chat. Won't be talking about MGAM in general until Monday, but we'll be in there talking about other stocks for a while. I might get crossed up. Anyway, take care, guys. Bye-bye.